to another episode of the Residency Match Insiders. I'm Jonathan Munoz, and today I have Dr. Pulupati with me. She is a PGY3 on internal medicine and soon going to fellowship on Hem-Onc. So congratulations, Dr. Pulupati. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much for being here, sharing your input, your valuable contribution to this group of IMGs. How are you doing?
Thank you very much, Dr. Munoz. It's great to be here. I can share my experience in any way if it can be of help for the IMGs or for anybody.
Yes, of course. And I just want to tell all the people that will be seeing this video that you were a J1 applicant. You are a J1 applicant. You are under a J1 visa, and so this is important because we're going to give a little information on how is really the journey for a J1 visa applicant, which is different for someone that has a green card or a citizenship on their side. So for us on a J1 visa, the situation is a little more difficult even to obtain rotation. So when you came, how did you obtain your observership rotations?
So when I first came to the United States, it was in 2017, and it was to do my clinical skills exam, and I did not know anybody then. But during the process of taking the exam, I did make friends, and then I realized that there are many institutions in the United States that offer free or unpaid observership positions or externship positions. That was when I applied for the MD Anderson observership position, and I went back home after the exam. But I got approved after 8 or 9 months, and then I came back to do my observership rotation in Houston. But I also realized that there are many hospitalists who are willing to help the international medical graduates. So I did come across a hospitalist in South Dakota who was very helpful for many IMGs before, and I requested to work with him, and I rotated with him, and it was unpaid, and I obtained my clinical skills experience, and I got my LOR. And I also did externship positions in New York. So I think it's all about if you can talk to everybody and gain information, research about what places that offer free positions. I think one will be able to get those positions, but you have to be, it takes time. So you have to apply or look for these positions maybe 1 year ahead if you want to plan and then apply. So it's going to take some time because there are always people who apply. So I think it would be better to make a timeline and then go about it.
And with time, you mean because you have to email so many people, right? Like we're talking about hundreds of
Yes.
emails that you have to send, and most of them will come back saying no. But at some point, a person will say yes, and that's what you have to, your hopes are on that person. And once you get to that hospital to do an observership, doors open, and then you meet another doctor that will say, oh, why don't you come and rotate with me for another month or another week? So keeping your eyes open for these opportunities when you get there. But the first thing is, as you said, start the process early. You cannot finish your steps and then start looking for this, because then you're gonna miss or gonna lose a year. You have to start this process probably before getting into step 2, just after passing step 1. But as you said, early in the game. All right. Thank you very much for that answer. Next one is, what do you think is once you obtain your letter of recommendations, once you pass all these requirements and get into the match process, the interview, what is your recommendation for the interview process?
I think the interview day is the most important in all of the process, because and also the applicant needs to be honest, be yourself. They say honesty goes a long way, and the program sees the applicant as a whole. The scores, CV, all of that definitely matter, but most importantly, the program is wanting an applicant that is willing to learn, willing to work hard, and able to mingle with everybody, be a team player, so that the workplace stays positive. So if you're able to show off all of that in the interview, and let them know that you have all of these qualities, and also being able to deliver that during the residency or during the training, I think that would be great. But most importantly, the programs I believe, are willing to see if the applicant is basically working hard and willing to learn.
Great. Did you, when going to these interviews, what do you think is the ideas or the I don't know how to say this, but the talk that you have to have in mind, what's going on internal medicine these days, now that you're almost about to finish residency and you have gone through all the stages of first year, second year, third year. Now, are you in tune, or are you more aware of the needs for good documentation, for good medical billing, for good underserved work? Are those things that programs are looking for?
I think, Jonathan, I think the most of the programs do understand that the international medical graduates, we are new to the system-based learning here. We are new to the kind of evidence-based medicine. I think they understand that, but mostly if you're showing that you're willing to work, and if you've had any volunteer experience in the past and you were willing to do some underserved area experience, if you want to help them, or if there's anything in the program that is involved with the community and involved with the underserved population, I think that plays a role, but I don't think it's in all of the programs. I had some volunteer experience back home, and I feel like that has helped me. I've done some free clinics here in my program, so that helps. Apart from that, I think internal medicine overall is a great branch. There is diverse cases, diverse pathology, and it's always fun. You're trying to figure out what is going on with the patient, trying to come up to the diagnosis and treating them, and how the patients are very appreciative of what we do. It is great. It is my dream come true. So I think knowing that you will be learning, and yeah, pretty much. Did that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. Especially because I always emphasize how in your preparation to the process, to the application process, I recommend to try to build up a very good CV with volunteering experiences that are not necessarily observership experiences, but volunteering experiences that line up with the idea of serving vulnerable populations. You know, like serving, working with people that have needs that are beyond medical, mental support. So for me, when I coach applicants, I tell them, hey, while studying for step 2, while preparing to come to your observerships, do anything you can in your country. Go to that church, go to that kitchen soup, and help others. Just build your CV. And so when you come here, we see on your interview date, okay, this person has a history of, you know, be willing to work in these areas. So this is a person I want to hire. So those are the things that I always emphasize. I always tell them also now, I do a lot of work on clinical documentation improvement, on how we tell residents all the time, hey, make the differentiation between type 1 MI, type 2 MI of demand ischemia. And for the last 2 years, they keep telling me, what is demand ischemia? And I say, well, for the first year residents, demand ischemia, blah, 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 right? So, but now you, on a 3rd year residency part, you understand the importance of demand ischemia. Now, when when you go into practice, independent practice, this becomes way more important, and it takes longer to learn once you're out of residency. So in my eyes, when I talk to someone that has any experience on identifying high billing diagnosis or high adjusting diagnosis for morbidity, for mortality, then I think, okay, this is a guy that comes prepared, comes ready to start residency. I wasn't a great student before coming to the United States, before applying to the residency. So I was lucky that when I came here, I met someone that could connect me to do an observership, and that's how I got my 3 letters. But other than that, I didn't do what I'm recommending now. I didn't start the process of looking for an observership a year prior. I didn't prepare for the interview process. I didn't prepare with someone to coach me on, what to say when someone asks you, they tell me about yourself question. And I think I'm very happy where I am now, and God knows it's more than I deserve. But I think I could have done a better interview process if I will be prepared the way I teach now. And so that's why it's very important for me, your input on this part, because of how many J1 visa applicants there are, and the market that is becoming or focusing on these J1 applicants, on charging them $4,000, $3,000 for an observership of 1 month, and the need for these students to have a letter of recommendation. So hopefully those are things that change. Since seems like you're very happy where you are and about to start a new chapter of your life, Hem-Onc, how difficult was for you to get into the residency spot, fellowship spot?
Oh, fellowship. I think it is very much like residency. And again, I don't know anybody here who could, in oncology, or anybody who could mentor me. But my program director has been very helpful. I applied for many programs in oncology and got some interviews and interviewed. Because I had gone through the residency interviews, I knew maybe a little bit on how to prepare, but I also had some seniors help me on what are the questions that the fellowship interview holds and things like that.
Wow, that's great. Just to finalize this short conversation, I don't want to take a lot of your time. What are your recommendations for those J1 students, J1 applicants that are coming to this cycle? They are only having 3 or 4 interviews lined up, and now we're in December. Usually we don't receive many more interviews after December. We're set on what we have till now. So what is recommendation for them? What do you think should they do to maximize their chances when they go to these 3 or 4 interviews that they got?
I think every interview is important, even 1 versus 10. I think every interview is important, and you've got a high chance of matching even with 1 interview. But I would say believe in yourself, be confident, and know that you've got chance even with 1 interview. And be yourself, but most importantly, again, prepare for the interview. Prepare about what questions that they might ask. You can think about it, you can look for it. There are many questions in the Google search, if you do, about what kind of questions they are asked in the residency interviews, and prepare for all of those basic questions. If there's any out of the box questions, be yourself, but be honest. I think program does identify if you're making false accusations, if you're not being honest. It's not very hard to identify. So just be yourself and prepare again.
Don't be weird, right? Don't be weird in the interview. Say things like are crazy. Don't talk about how you like expensive cars. Don't talk about how you like to invest in cryptocurrencies. Be a normal person that say, oh, I'm here to learn, work, be a team player. You wouldn't believe how many people tells me, oh yeah, if someone asks me what are my hobbies, I'm gonna say that I like extreme sports. I like to bungee jump, and I tell them, hey, these are not things that you will want to share. You want to share things that are making you look like a normal person, not an adrenaline seeker. Or I mean, it's fine to have those hobbies or things in life, but I don't know. I think that for the interview process, you have to be um, very, trying to show as a normal person, but
I
be honest at the same time.
Yeah, I think Dr. Munoz, if somebody has a true interest in bungee jumping or extreme sports, and if they can show it out that they have true interest instead of just making things out of it, if somebody can be honest about it, I think that is also appreciated.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I think you just have to be honest.
I will
Very
be
important.
I will be concerned that they may not be able to make it to Monday after bungee jumping as a volunteer record. But no, it's fine. It's as you said, people that have experience interviewing others get or catch these lies.
Yeah.
So like you said, being honest is the best policy, and lies have short legs anywhere. So, but thank you very much for your time. I wish you the best on your fellowship. This is great that someone comes and tries to give some information to the applicants that are coming every year. Every year is someone new, and this video will stay here on the Facebook group for those that come. And if someone can learn something from you, from the confidence that you give, to the support that you give with your words, maybe that's the help they need.
Um, I This is the first time that I'm trying to speak out or trying to share my experience, if that could be of any help to the applicants. But if there's anything that I can do, is to share